So I'm actually in this exact situation. I have Dobbins and Kamara, and we were just talking about it earlier. So if you can't read it, David, it's Kenyon Drake or Mark Ingram with Dobbins and Kamara out. So it's basically their backups.
Mark Ingram's coming off an ankle thing too.
Yeah, he was questionable this week. He didn't look good week 1, and Kamara was banged up week 1, so we already kind of got a glimpse of him. Now we also got a glimpse of Kenyon Drake because he started. I personally, we were talking about this earlier, I think I want Kenyon Drake. I just think there's more upside there. The Bucs defensive line is much better than the Dolphins defensive line, so I think the Bucs shut down Mark Ingram. And Kenyon Drake has a better pass catcher. So if you're in PPR, I like Kenyon Drake.
Is there anybody else available?
Yeah, first off,
on the waivers,
I don't love either of these options.
Players that were out last week for the Ravens are out this week, and Kenyon Drake did not look good. So I would go Ingram and hope that he steps up, and hopefully that ankle isn't too big of an issue.
I'm definitely concerned for Baltimore after the way that game went last year in this matchup. So I would have leaned that way with Sid, but New Orleans has had a lot of success against Tampa, and I'm worried for Tommy Boy and that offense. So I can actually see the Saints running the ball a lot today, even without Kamara. So that's a coin flip, and I'm with Ash. I would go look for a better option.
Andrew's not happy we're talking about the Saints. I mean, I agree that look for a better option. The problem is I'm in a league, the one league I have both of them, there's not a better option.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Juszczyk is the top available running back. It's just, so if those are who you got, Burkhead, Gainwell, Ramondre Stevenson, not too many after.
Burkhead.
I like Burkhead and
guys.
I like Ramondre Stevenson as well. The receiving back versus the Steelers is going to do a lot better than the ground and pound guy. The Steelers defense is going to be much better against the run than against the pass. So I like Ramondre Stevenson and Burkhead over both of those guys.
You're saying Ramondre over Ingram and Drake? I would agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was real high on Ramondre last week, and New England was not able to make as much of a game as I thought they would be able to. But I'm not giving up on Stevenson. I actually picked him up in one of our leagues going into this week. And yeah, the pass catching, like you said, I would agree on that.
People need to chill on like dropping players that are supposed to be good this year, week 1. I've seen some leagues where people are just like dropping like flies, and I'm like, it was week 1, guys. Mike Williams scored like 0 points week 1 and then turned around and scored like 20 some points. Like, y'all gotta breathe and trust that. Like, I'm not giving up on Cam Akers yet. I'm really close, but I'm not gonna give up yet. But some of these, I've seen some people get dropped. I'm like, pump the brakes. Like, just because they didn't look hot week 1 doesn't mean. And then you have those players that look hot week 1 and then never do a single thing after.
The Sammy Watkins effect. Yeah. He commented again. He said he has Dobbins, Kamara, Pittman, and Gabe Davis. So all are like questionable or injured or out. So he's forced to make some changes. Yeah, definitely.
Fair. I have a league like that too. I can't
just pick up who you can. Don't drop any of them.
Yeah.
Put the phone down. Don't watch your fantasy matchup this week. Keep the faith and just come back next week.
Yeah, I would say you're probably going to take the L this week, but you have some studs on your team, so hopefully they come back.
First of all, Andrew, stop yelling at me. Second, Sean said Tua or Lamar, they are playing each other, so this is a head-to-head matchup. I personally like Lamar because the running aspect of Lamar's game just makes him so much more fantasy relevant. And especially with no running backs, he's going to be their running back. So I like Lamar there. And then Andrew yelled at us that Lockett, Evans, and are notorious for putting up 0-point games and coming back with 30-point games a couple weeks straight. Yeah, so just chill on those guys.
Lockett always does that, but Lockett will have like 0, 40, 0, 5, 6, 30. It's like, what is Lockett doing out here?
Do we think that's because of Lockett or because Russ always never let him become irrelevant?
I don't know. Russ really is doing some Russ things and being disappointing to me again this season.
Yeah.
I'm throwing, after I just said don't throw people out week 1, I'm throwing Russell Wilson out. I don't like Russell Wilson, though.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for asking questions. Much appreciated.
I real quick, I kind of want to go back because there's a certain team out there that you have claimed has solved the Lamar Jackson issue, a certain defense out there. And you say it every year, and that would be your defense. And last year, Miami did the exact same thing to Lamar. They kept him in the pocket. They forced him to throw the ball. And Miami just embarrassed Baltimore last year. You don't see that happening again this year? I mean, Brian Flores is gone, but they have the same defensive coordinator. I don't see them having a vastly different game plan going against that team.
I can see that.
But you expect a different result?
So the thing is Lamar versus Tua. I'm not saying Lamar is going to go out and put 50 on him. I also don't think Tua is going to have a good day because the Ravens defense is also good. So you got to take that into account. I do think if Miami can do it again, the Steelers have done it multiple times, sir, not just one game. So we have solved it because we've done it more than once. Miami did it once. You're correct. But I just personally would take Lamar because of the rushing aspect. I think Miami and Baltimore both have good defenses. So if they're both going to play the quarterback well, I want the guy that can at least do it on the ground if he gets the chance versus the guy that can't.
Okay. I'm going the other way. I'm going with the guy with all the shiny toys.
That's fair. That's very fair. I mean, yeah.
I don't think they'll be too far off of each other.
I love Lamar. I'll take Lamar 9 out of 10 weeks over Tua. Sorry, Bobby. But this week I'm going to go with Tua.
Since we are answering a bunch of questions, we're just going to jump straight into the questions and answers show. So let me play this real quick. So since we're going to just jump into that, we do have another fantasy question from somebody out there. It says, should I trust Swift today? And who should I rock in the flex with a full PPR? Hines, Hollywood Brown, or Travis Etienne? Nyheim Hines, Marquise Brown, or Travis Etienne. I personally have Swift in a few leagues. I have removed him from my starting lineup if I could. There's one league that just the bench just isn't good enough. So even on a limited snap count, I'm still going to roll with Swift. Last week, seeing Jamal Williams getting a lot of the goal line work makes me nervous for Swift. So if they're going to limit him and he doesn't get goal line work, it does make me nervous. If you have a viable option, I would switch him out personally.
I would take one of those running backs you have right there, put them in Swift out, put one of them in, and then play Hollywood Brown in your flex.
You could do that. I like Nyheim Hines a lot this week. I think he was going to be one of my deeper guys to look at. With Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce both out for the Colts, I think he gets an elevated role and almost plays slot receiver for them. So and he's a great pass catching back. They're going to set up a lot of stuff for him in a full PPR. Definitely like Nyheim Hines this week. And yeah, it might not be a bad idea to play Hines as your starter, sit Swift, and take Marquise Brown over it, just to guarantee just so you're not limiting yourself with the.
That's what I would do.
Swift.
I don't like playing running backs in my flex though. That's just like a personal preference. I never play running backs in my flex unless I absolutely have to. And like my flex running back this week, I think I have Zeke and AJ Dillon. That's So I know they're going to do at least decent. I just don't like running backs in the flex.
That's unanimous. With Pittman out, I completely agree. The pass catching is probably going to elevate him over those two. I think that Kyler Murray and the entire Arizona offense has a rough day. I think the pass rush from Oakland is going to give them problems, and with all the missing pieces they have, it's going to be a lot easier to lock down Hollywood. So yeah, all the way around.
I like it. Andrew said, here's a question. How does someone go from tanking to winning in Dynasty? Bro, I started Eno Benjamin as my starting running back.
Did you win?
And I won. Yes. I am 1-0 in that league. That is terrible. Everybody should be ashamed.
That's embarrassing, dude.
I had Justin Fields, Eno Benjamin. It's a super flex league, so you start 2 quarterbacks. My second quarterback was Jacoby Brissett. I mean, I went in looking very dim, came home with a dub.
How did you win?
I'm just
wow. Whoever played you, that says more about you than it does about.
Paris Campbell is going to eat today.
I'm playing him. Let's go.
I also have a guy for our next segment about that as well. Kyle agrees with you. And then so
I like people that catch the ball. I draft like I care about running backs more, but then I never will play them in my flex. But if you watch me draft, I get my 2 running backs and then I don't look at them again. I don't. I get my 2 guys and then I will go receiver the rest of the entire draft. So the draft I did not go running back and I got Justin Jefferson. The league where there are no kickers and no defense, I had a completely different strategy because I'm like, I want a guy to eat because I have now 500 flex positions that I'm not going to play running backs in. So I need receivers. And I looked at Dylan and it was great.
I have a question for you guys. So I need to start 2. Brandon Cooks going against Patrick Surtain, who looked really good week 1. Adam Thielen, who only had 6 points last week. Damian Harris going against the Steelers' run defense. Or Jahan Dotson.
I would do Dotson and
I even have Brandon Ayuk or Julio Jones as well. But it is pick 2.
Who was the second one again?
Adam Thielen.
I would do Thielen.
So this is start 2?
Start 2.
I would do Thielen and Dotson. Jettas just went off, but I think the Eagles will do a better
Julio
job.
Jones is officially out as of right now, so no Julio.
Shocking.
Who is?
Julio.
Who does Houston play? I like Cooks too. Maybe
they play Denver.
I'm really, really torn on Dotson in that. I think that Minnesota and Philly could be the Philly-Detroit from last week and could be one of the highest scoring games this week. So Thielen's intriguing. Harris, I'm just way too up on Ramondre this year, and I think he's going to slowly take over that role. They're always going to be in a committee, but I would have to go Cooks and Dotson. Dotson had a great week 1, and just the upside of both of those, I think they both have a higher ceiling because no matter what Thielen does, he's still going to be the number 2. Dotson, I think by the end of the year, could be their number 1. We'll see.
So you're taking Dotson?
I like Thielen for sure. Then it's kind of a toss-up between Dotson and Cooks. Who does Houston play?
Denver. So he's going to line up against Patrick Surtain, who shut down PK.
Maybe not that then. Maybe do Thielen and Dotson. I don't. But Cooks is like the guy. I always do this though, where I'm like, I have to pick the guy, and then the guy doesn't do the guy things, and then I wish I didn't pick the guy. I wouldn't give up on Thielen. I feel like people are like, Thielen, but week 1.
I said that's tough. I'm definitely torn on Thielen because I think that
Ayuk is really nice. Intriguing as well. Ayuk didn't do anything, but they also were, like you said, in a monsoon. So what was he supposed to do? So I like Ayuk too. Who do they play? They play a very bad team
Seattle.
too.
Seahawks.
I don't know. I like that too. That's hard. You got.
I don't know.
Sometimes it stinks when you have too many options because then you pick the wrong guy. It seems every time. I like Thielen for sure. Thielen would be a lock for me. Yeah, we said Kamara was out. Look at Kyle.
No.
That's not a salty Falcons fan talking.
Wow, Julio out? That's never happened before. This is how he said it. It's like someone said that last week. Wonder who.
Could it have been Kyle? No way.
Salty.
I don't know. I think I'm good on mine.
Got any questions, David?
I say, do you have any I don't know who to play?
I will give you the absolute worst.
What do you guys think about Randall Cobb this week?
I hate Randall Cobb.
As far as the Packers receiving room, how are you feeling about the next couple of weeks? Obviously, Watson with that huge drop. We know how Aaron Rodgers is. I mean, even his elite receivers that he's had in his career, he never showed them any respect in their rookie seasons. And after that big drop, I mean, what do you guys think is the hierarchy in that wide receiver room?
I think Lazard is
back too, because I have Lazard in a league and I'm playing him because somebody is out. I can't even remember right now. So many people out.
The thing is Aaron Rodgers doesn't have another guy to go to not feed the rookies. So I think Christian Watson is going to have a bounce back. I think Rodgers forces it to him a few times to get him going, which is not something Aaron Rodgers does. So, I mean, I'm definitely calling a way off script play. I just think listening to Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show, he loves what Christian Watson can do, his size, his speed, all that stuff. So he's praising him a lot. I just think he's gonna try and get him more involved and force him to be the guy almost. All right, come on, young buck, I'm gonna make you who you're supposed to be type thing.
Quick question. Were those comments from McAfee this week after game one?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah, they talked on Tuesday, and he was just saying that there's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be growing pains, and that's what he talked about. He's but he's just so talented. Hasn't had a guy that size before that can run like him, and so I think, I'm not starting any Packers receivers just yet. I'm going to still ride the Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon train until that falls off. Now, however, there is a bet on FanDuel that's kind of interesting. It's literally called, does he still own them? And it's Aaron Rodgers to throw 3 touchdowns. So I thought that was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I found that last night and I was dying. That was too good. All right, would you play Lazard or Devontae Smith?
Alan Lazard or Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith literally didn't catch the ball last week.
I like Alan Lazard personally. I think Jalen Hurts' hierarchy of his passing targets goes A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and then Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like Jalen Hurts' number 3 receiver.
I hate Devontae Smith. This is why I don't draft Eagles players, because then I get extra mad when they do bad in my lineup.
I sacrificed my morals and you gave me nothing. Yeah. Yep.
It's bad. I'm trying to think. So you think AJ Dillon over Hunter Renfrow? I don't like starting running backs in my flex though.
Who was all over AJ Dillon all season, all off season?
I wasn't, and I'm still not, especially not in my flex. So I just
Russell Gage is playing officially. So Gage is in, Julio's out. So you got Evans, Russell Gage, and then the 5th, 6th, and 7th option for the Buccaneers now. So that's kind of going to be an interesting one.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.